Jai Hind, friends. India's big footprint is coming into Mongolia. Mongolia, it is a very important country in Eurasia and, of course, in Asia. When we say Indo-Pacific, when we say in that area, is a landlocked country. And India has a very old, actually, linkages. It goes back to the 3rd century AD. Since that time it had, but somehow in between we lost the connectivity. We lost people to connect with Mongolia. Now, as for Mongolia, when we see that the great game which India geopolitical and geostrategic game is playing, and it is based on China's Chanakya chess game, based on that theory, where India is doing all those things. We can see it is happening in Afghanistan. The Afghanistan foreign minister was here for 6 days visit to India, and the way the things happened thereafter, it is something is very, very, the world has taken note of it. It is happening with Iran. It is happening in Indo-Pacific rim states. It is happening now in Mongolia. Russia, we know we have got a very good relations, and the way the things are happening with all dimensions in the Russians, and Russian President Vladimir Putin is coming in the month of December. Before that, one thing is notable. I think the world has taken note of, especially the China. The president of Mongolia was here, and India's and Mongolia signed 10 MOUs. And those MOUs are, if you go through, you'll find that, it is very well thought of MOUs. Let's see. First, we see the political and the strategic or a diplomatic way. See, between India and Mongolia, they recognized each other in 1955, about 70 years back. Mongolia took a lead. Mongolia opened its embassy in 1956 in India, but it took time. Only in 1971, we opened our embassy in Mongolia. And thereafter, their things were changing. But somehow it was going at a very low pace. We were not able to exploit everything, in spite of the fact that is the time we have seen that the string of pulse was coming from the China all around India. But it was only 2015. It is first time our Prime Minister, any Prime Minister of India, from 1947 till date, only 2015, Modi went to Mongolia the first time. And that is the time the strategic partnership, actually came up between India and Mongolia. It has taken 10 years thereafter working on ground and trying to establish diplomatically, and now things are changing. Let's see what happened. First, it is a defense. It is a very, very important, because when you have to reverse the string of pulse. Defense is a very, very important. You require to have a footprint, and this time the footprint is going to be so solid and permanent. First thing, military attaché or defense attaché is being posted over there to Mongolia, and there is an exchange program. But this exchange program is up one way, because Mongolia has asked for that, that border management in the lines of what we have got, like BSF, ITBP, thing like that. The Mongolia has got, both on the north is Russia, south it has got China. And it is landlocked country. So it wants to have the border management, and India has taken that responsibility of training, putting all infrastructure, the design and the philosophy, what the Indian, like border management is there. And I think, they are very, very keen to have that. So we will have a permanent footprint over there. The second thing is the military training team. We have got a training team like you have seen in Bhutan. Bhutan is also a landlocked country, and we have got a permanent training team over there. Something in that design, a military training team which will be training the complete Mongolian armed forces in a big way. And it is a tri-service Mongolian, that Indian training team will be there. And the doctrine, the system, our method, war fighting, that will it will be developed. And when the military to military contact takes place, lot of dependency and lot of bonhoming takes place, and it is something like in a battlefield bonhoming and battlefield on ground bonhoming, it is something military to military, something very which is very permanent and it is very deep. The second aspect is the economic and development and infrastructure. That is our strategy. India doesn't go for debt trapping, but India goes for the line of credit. The line of credit is something like that we have done the Afghanistan, and now it is paying the result. We go absolutely clear mind that we are going for the people's development infrastructure. For that, it is not India centric. Most of the country like China or anyone, United States, if you see, they go if they do any investment, it is the country centric. They want to extract things out the way, especially the Chinese, the way the Americans did. But India is going for the line of credit, 1.7 billion line of credit. It's giving to the Mongolia, and see the vision. It is being given for the Mongolian first oil refinery over there. They have got oil, but they do not have the capability to refine. So crude, as at present, what is the system? The crude which is taken out in Mongolia, it goes to China. China refines it, and then they use it. But Mongolia gets its oil from Russia. So from Russia, it's come to Mongolia, the oil, and the crude goes to China. So India, this is the great game India's played. If we are the master of refinery, so India is giving 1.7, complete technology, everything, and it will be done in record time by 2028. Here, 3 years hereafter, they will have the refinery, and they will take out 80% of their energy requirement of oil will be of Mongolia. They are very, very happy about it. Second thing is, they have a lot of reserves of cooking coal is there, which is now India wants to have this coal coming, because 53% of Indians' coal requirement come from Australia, Indonesia, Brazil, Argentina. So want to cut that short, as far as from Argentina and Brazil. They wants to get it from the Mongolia, for which India, what is doing it, it's having a connectivity. And think of it, the connectivity is a trans-Siberian railway. It will coming right up to Vladivostok, and Vladivostok onwards to Chennai. We know that this connectivity, this is coming with the Russians' design, and it is more or less was declared. It is taking shape, and in Vladivostok, there is a requirement. There is a proposal, and then Putin is coming. About 40 lakh Indians, about 10 lakh Indians, there that will be graduated about to 40 lakhs. This is what the plan is of Russia. Russia is a very sparse country, as per the population is concerned, huge, 7 times bigger than India, but they have got just 14 crore people. India is 140 crores. Similarly, the Mongolia is 1/2 of Indian territory, very big in size, but only 3.5 crore people are there. India is 144 crore. They want Indians in a big way over there. So when we talk about the connectivity which we are seeing, basically this is for the cooking coal, which is India's big requirement, will be coming from Mongolia, for which this connectivity, which I just explained, that is going to take place. Over and above, India wants to have a connectivity direct, and for which the Malaysian air carriers are ready to bring, and they want to also have chartered flight, and that is been a direct flight from Mongolia to India, basically coming to Delhi, and I believe it is Amritsar has been identified. That is the way it is going to have the direct, and it is with the design, which now that is very, very important. And that is the land of Buddha, that is India, land of Buddha, with the country of Buddha. Mongolia is, the people are Buddhist over there in a big way. Now India has, wants to establish cultural and that religious ties with that, Mongolia, in a big way it is coming. And I think it's a great game, which India is not playing, but it is unfolding. The second relic of 2 chief disciples of Buddha, that is the Sariputra and Madhu Galyan, the 2 disciples, their relic, the secret relic, will be going there to their monastery over there, and it is a garden monastery, and it is going in 2026. Over and above, there is a Sanskrit teacher who will be going over there, because Nalanda University, and this tie-up is between the Nalanda University and Garden Monastery of Mongolia. This tie-up is there, and that because most of the literature of Buddhist literature is Sanskrit. They want to have translation. They do not know much about it, and over and above, they want the English teachers from India. The direct flight, which is coming to Delhi and Amritsar, will be, because it might be the Indian airlines will be also going to Mongolia, because it is a tourism in a big way, which I think both the countries are looking forward, and it is a very, very good destinations. Absolutely very huge country with the size of the people. In the people size, you say 3.4 crores. And India has got so many people which can go. It's something like Sri Lanka. Same Sri Lankan design is there. Indian tourist goes over there, and then also the design which is there, line of credit with the Sri Lanka, and also you see in the big way the connectivity between Sri Lanka and India, which has been established. There are 2,500 Indian professionals there. They want in a big way the English teachers comes, and more Indian experts, both they want to do it. And the sky is element, technology, the big way it's going there to Mongolia. And it is going to be very, very permanent, because there is absolutely the all connects people to people connects strategically, which we are going for. Then as per the requirement of economic connects, we are going for it, and it has been identified. It's taken about 10 years. Putin is coming on 3rd and 4th December 2025 to India. A lot of things are there in this. One of this connectivity which I spoken, that is the Trans-Siberian railway line is there, going right up to Vladivostok, and then coming to Chennai. I think a lot of things will unfold. I will cover up that in that time. So I think it's a great game. In this great game, Mongolia is one of the country which India's footprint is going to be very, very firm, very, very permanent, and without any other design. Thank you. Jai Hind.